What is Mohs scale of hardness and how exactly does it work? Let's find out in this video. We are also going to have a practical demonstration with rocks at the end of this video. Chapter 1. What is Mohs scale? So Mohs scale of mineral hardness is a measurement system which is used to rank minerals based on their relative hardness. It was developed by Friedrich Mohs in 1812 and this consists of a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 referring to the softest, whereas 10 being the hardest. Some common minerals and their relative hardness on Mohs scale is given for you to compare.
Talc, gypsum, calcite, apatite, orthoclase, quartz, corundum.
Take a screenshot for future reference. Chapter 2. A common misconception. Now many of us assume that the Mohs scale is an absolute scale, which is not true at all. Let me explain this in simple words. Let's take an example of gypsum, which has a hardness of 2 on the Mohs scale, and compare it with fluorite, which is on 4. Now when I say that the scale is not absolute, I mean to say that fluorite with the hardness of 4 is not twice as hard as gypsum, which has a hardness of 2. This scale only tells us that fluorite is harder than gypsum, but not precisely by how much. So we can say that this scale does not provide a precise measurement of hardness. Chapter 3, and the most awaited one, is the time for practical demonstration.
Okay, so we have these rocks whose hardness on Mohs scale is known. First of all, we have sandstone, whose hardness on Mohs scale is around 6 to 6.5. Then we have quartz, an unworked quartz, whose hardness on the Mohs scale is around 7. Then we have jaspilite, whose hardness on Mohs scale is around 5 to 6. Then we have our softest rock, which is a shale stone, whose hardness is around 3 to 4. Then we have a beautiful crystalline rock, amethyst, whose hardness is around 7. And then we have agate. You can clearly see striations on the surface. Its hardness is around 6.5 to 7. Now we are going to practically see their hardness through a demonstration. First of all, let us take sandstone and shale stone. Clearly, shale stone is way softer than sandstone. Let us try to scratch sandstone with shale stone. A clear scratch can be seen which is not fading away. Now going other way around, scratching sandstone with shale stone, we tried to scratch it but the scratch disappeared. Now let us compare the hardness of quartz and sandstone. We know that sandstone's hardness is around 6 to 6.5, whereas quartz is a little more harder, around 7. Trying to scratch quartz with sandstone, a clear scratch appears which is not fading away. Whereas going other way around, trying to scratch quartz with sandstone, the scratch clearly goes away.
Chapter 4. Let's now summarize all that we have learned in this video. First of all, Mohs scale helps us to compare the hardness of minerals. And remember, when looking at the Mohs scale, always focus on relative positioning of minerals rather than assuming any numerical relationship. Coming up next are a series of exciting videos, so stay tuned.